Welcome to your dish for this Monday. It's ironic because every time I take my sandals off, they all say my dogs are barking. Oof, these dogs are barking, right? Not that
What
bad.
happens if you go to
as
someone's house and they
be.
ask you to take your shoes off? You're gonna be
Then they're in big trouble. Speaking of dogs barking, the reason I'm wearing these sandals is I got them out there in San Diego. I was out in San Diego over the weekend for the advanced screening of Marmaduke. Had a great time, and the best part, it was all coordinated with the World Dog Surfing Championships. Check out these bad boys, hanging 20. They were there, dogs of all shapes and sizes on hand. It was the 5th annual Lowe's Coronado Bay Surf Dog Competition.
That's
a lot
cool.
of fun. You wouldn't believe how big this thing is.
I was going to say, did a big crowd come out for that?
Oh,
I mean,
huge.
it's like for the kids,
Huge
the kids
crowd.
would love it.
Kids love it. I stepped in no fewer than 5 piles of dog poop on that beach. It was a lot of fun, though, and it's all for good charity. And, of course, while I was out there, I got to talk to the biggest dog of all. This is the dog that plays Marmaduke in the upcoming film. And so, I had to ask him what he does every day. Since the show's called Every Day, we ask all the stars, what do you do every day? Even George here. So, George, what do you do every day? Oh, he says he drinks toilet water. Yeah. He sniffs the neighbor dogs. And negotiates with his agent for 10%. Fascinating, George.
Get it away from
I know
He
that
is
dog.
growling at
That
you.
dog was growling at me.
Almost bigger than you.
Well, it's because I smelled like milk bone, I think is the reason
Or he
why.
smelled your feet.
He smelled my feet. Hey, Marmaduke opens June 4th, and we're going to have exclusive dish in the weeks to come with Owen Wilson, who is the voice of Marmaduke, and George Lopez. They were great guys. It was a lot of fun out there this weekend. Meantime, let's head out to Los Angeles, just up the road from San Diego. My good buddy Dax out there at TMZ.com. And Dax, good to see you. How you doing?
I'm good. How about you, Chris?
Not bad, although I was really shocked to wake up this morning and hear the news about Brittany Murphy's husband. This just seems too bizarre to be true. What are you guys learning today?
Well, we learned that Simon Monjack was found dead in the house, but the similarities between his death and Brittany Murphy's death are just bizarre. Basically, the mother of Brittany found Simon, just like she had also found Brittany in the master bedroom. Simon, however, was in the bedroom. Brittany was in the bathroom. It looks like it was some kind of cardiac arrest. Obviously, we don't know if there were any drugs in his system. Some people on the scene were kind of pointing to maybe that was the case, but obviously we will not know until toxicology results come out in a couple weeks. But yeah, his body was taken away from the house by the coroner late last night, early this morning, and we've got video of all that. It's just so creepy, bizarre because of how similar it was to Brittany's death.
The odds seem almost astronomical that this is just another natural death, just coincidental. But you're not hearing anything confirmed yet?
Not confirmed yet. I know they're definitely looking into his death. They have launched an investigation, and we'll see if we can get some more information out of them soon enough and put it up on the website for you guys.
All right, let's get our daily dose of crazy. Lindsay Lohan, I get lost in all of this. One day she's going to go to jail. The next day all is forgiven. The next day she's in big trouble again. What is it with this woman?
Well, she's in huge trouble, and the number one reason, she showed up late to court this morning after the judge has already showed that she is not going to be putting up with Lindsay's BS. Well, she showed up late to court, and now she's been ordered to wear a scram bracelet, one of those monitoring devices around the ankle. So Lindsay is currently filling out the paperwork for that. So in the next 24 hours, she'll have to put one of those on. She'll be having to do random drug tests over the next couple weeks, and so it could be any time. But this doesn't also just mess up Lindsay. It messes up her whole production schedule for her upcoming movie that was supposed to be filmed in Texas. Apparently now she cannot leave the state because of these random drug tests. So I don't know if they're going to end up canceling her in the movie, or going to be recasting someone else, or just pushing back the production. I'm not sure, but it is not looking good for Lindsay at this moment.
Well, I've said it before. I think some jail time and some rehab would be good for her. Maybe be the one thing to turn her around.
I think it'd be great, Chris. And the thing is, if she was to get her life back on track, she could have a huge comeback. People would forget about all this and go, wow, Lindsay, good job, kind of like what Brittany did.
Exactly. Hey, Dax, I know you're a huge fan of Little House on the Prairie. Can you confirm the rumor? Is it true that you dressed as Mary Ingalls for Halloween last year? Is that true?
And I ran through the fields, yes, Chris.
That was Laura. Come on now, pal. Get your character straight. We'll see you tomorrow.
I guess I'm not as big a fan as you are.
TMZ.com, my favorite website. We'll check in with you guys throughout the afternoon for the latest on that death of Simon. All right. Now, we were just mentioning Little House, of course. One of the most famous scenes in TV history. The young actress who starred in it got an Emmy nomination for it. Take a look.
Help! Help me! Mary? Help me! Mary? Oh, I can't see! I can't see! Help me! Help me! It's dark!
Melissa Sue Anderson playing Mary on Little House on the Prairie, and now she's written a book about her time on a show. It's called The Way I See It, a look back at my life on Little House, and she's in Denver to sign her book tonight. And guess what? She's in our studio right now. How about it? Yay. Very excited. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
Welcome to Denver.
Thank you. It's very nice here.
Well, here's the thing. Don't you think, first off, I mean, the show is iconic, and you have aged wonderfully. So everywhere you go, do people still say, Mary Ingalls, I loved you in that show? Do you still get that?
I get that occasionally. Yes, yes, I do.
As in like 30 times a day.
Modest.
She's modest. What is it about that show you think that's endured all these years?
I guess that the longer the time goes by, the less of those kinds of shows there are, and so it becomes more generational. You know, it becomes then the grandmothers with the mothers and the daughters. I'm doing a lot of book signings to 3 generations that watch it together, and you know, and it's the moms and dads that remember it from their childhood that want to pass it on to their kids and have the same experiences with their kids.
Sure, it's a little better than Jersey Shore, right?
Well, something
Families can
wholesome.
watch it together.
I love pulling out shows like that, my favorites from when I was a child, for my kids, because they just don't have programming like that anymore. And I learned so many lessons. I mean, I was in tears just watching that clip because I remember it so well.
What do you think, we've talked to some of the other cast members from the show about the difficulty of being a child actor and how it can really break you if you're not ready for it. In this book, you seem to have had a different experience. Being a child actor was not as traumatic for you.
No, it wasn't. It actually, you know, Little House turned out to be my niche. It turned out to be where I learned and I tried and you know, it was everything I wanted. I used it to get better and I loved it. I loved the crew. I loved the cast. It was a great experience for me.
Nice to meet you, Seth.
Child actors in general, though, I think like I wouldn't want my own kids to ever do it, or any of my good friends' kids to do it. I personally think that kids should be kids. I don't think kids should.
More so today than when you were a child? Is it even harder for the actors and the kids who are out there in Hollywood now?
You know, I'm not sure. I think so, but there's so much, and why I would say that is that there's so much more money involved in it now. That, you know, when we were doing Little House, we weren't talking about lots and lots of money then. It wasn't until shows like Different Strokes came along where the kids were the central focus and they held out for money and they made a ton of money. And after that, kids started to be paid kind of what they were, what they should have been paid.
Sure.
Well, do you give any secrets in the book as far as any, I mean, it's such a wholesome show, but was there any drama or any tension, anything we don't know about?
Well, there was drama and tension between Mike and Karen, Ma and Pa. They didn't always see eye to eye, so to speak. So there were times, there were years that they didn't speak, really. They just worked together and, yeah. But that all got patched up. I went away and did you know, a TV movie or something, and I came back and they were smiling at each other. So, you know, it worked its way out. I walked into the Blue Max, which is this huge prop truck we had, and opened the cooler to get out a tab one day, and I didn't realize, I mean, and they're huge. I didn't realize, I turned around, that at the other end, Mike Landon was smoking a joint with a...
Now there's some juice.
Yeah, and I was so shocked. I mean, I was stammering.
Wow.
Well, it was the 70s,
before
right?
the tape? Was this before you guys were shooting? Is that how he got in his...
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Finding my center. Give me a minute, man. Focusing. And very quickly, too, you actually said there was, you know, everyone kind of idolized him, both on screen and off. But there was an incident, too, where he kind of had an affair right there on the set, right?
He did with my stand-in. And it was really awkward because I was great friends with his wife. Well, not great friends. I mean, obviously, I was his daughter's age. But, you know, very friendly with his wife. I liked his wife. And I liked his kids, and I didn't like my stand-in much after that.
No.
Put you in an awkward position.
It did, and then, you know, I had to continue liking my boss, but that wasn't easy either. That was a good lesson to learn at a very young age, that someone can fall off their pedestal, but you still have to, find those things that you admired and liked about them, other things, those other things, and get on with it and continue to work with him every day, because what else do? You just don't stomp your feet and walk
And
away.
stay true to yourself at the same time.
You're going
Right,
to be
right.
signing your book this evening. You'll be right here in town, yes?
Yes.
Excellent. And folks can come check that out and meet you, get the book signed, and read more about really what it was like to be on the set.
Yes.
And here's the information we want to give everyone tonight. 7 o'clock, Barnes & Noble at Colorado Mills. Tomorrow night, 7:30 at the Tattered Cover in Highlands Ranch. Melissa, thanks so much for coming on
thank
our
you.
show.
We do want to do one quick addendum. Our executive producer, that's that fellow right there in the Charlie Brown shirt, he has the entire Little House Collector DVD Gold
fan,
Edition.
big fan.
He quotes daily from the show. Would you give a little shout out to Chris? That's Chris, our producer. Huh? He like a photo, yeah?
Yes,
He is
absolutely.
a big fan.
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
We'll get the photo.